If you've been a viewer of this channel for any length of time, one of the things you'll hear me harp on about time and time again is the importance of developing your storytelling skills. Your career will shrink or expand in relation to your ability to tell a story visually. But despite repeatedly hammering this thought home, visual storytelling. The truth is, in most of the videos I've uploaded, the director has either provided a shot list for me or went on location and created a set of photo boards that I eventually just traced over. So I thought we'd try something a little different and start a series of videos aimed specifically at visual storytelling. The goal of this video is to try and pull the curtain back a bit and walk you through my thought process when designing a shot sequence. Let's get started. In today's episode, we'll be taking a look at a LegalZoom commercial that I drew up earlier this year for director Neil Brennan. The concept here is that NBA star Giannis Antetokounmpo and his brother Thanasis start up a side hustle as high-end furniture makers. While they're working in their shop, WNBA star Kelsey Plum drops by to discuss all of the virtues of using LegalZoom to start up a business. As you can see from these photos, once the story gets going, the director's pretty much got all of the action blocked out. So, unlike my usual videos, I'm not going to get too deep into the woods on that part of the script. We've all seen that movie before. It's a great movie, we love it, but instead, we're going to focus on the front end, the small bit of action that happens before the story gets underway. As I recall, the director began our phone meeting by saying, "Vin, just start me out with a handful of woodworking shots just to get me into the story." So even though it's only a sliver of the overall commercial, I want to walk you through my thought process when selecting those shots. And I'm going to try to do it all in real time for a change. As usual, I'm going to start out by taking a little trip over to Getty Images, and we'll begin with the search term sculpting wood. Okay, that didn't work. All right, let's try artist carving wood. Yes, kind of, maybe. This is good right here. At this point, I really don't have any preconceived ideas about what this is supposed to look like. So what I'm searching for are any interesting camera angles or compositions. I'm also leaning pretty heavily towards close-ups and extreme close-ups. My natural instinct being that I'm gonna wanna start super tight, then get a little bit wider, until I eventually reveal that the woodworker is Giannis. But that could absolutely change. I'm largely just mining for material. Most of this I'll end up tossing. But I find that when I collect a wealth of images at the start, a story will begin to emerge. So it's worth investing the time up front to do so. The only shot that I know for certain is the one that I'm going to land on. The director specifically mentioned that he wanted to have a close-up of Giannis's eyes just before we cut wide enough to reveal that it's him. So I'm looking for a handful of close-ups that help me tell that story. But Giannis is an artisan, so I'm avoiding any electric tools. He wouldn't be using like a miter saw or a drill press or anything like that. He would, in a way, almost be working with primitive hand tools. Like that. That's a great angle right there. All right, here's another one. I like that. Okay, I think that's more than enough to get us started. So let's open up our folder and see what we've got here. As I mentioned earlier, I want to start with an extreme close-up. I think this shot might work for that. Then I'm going to want to pop out a slight bit, so like this one might be a good one, the one from behind. And then we're jumping out even further, so like these three shots could all work for that. All right, this is a good opening shot. Let's grab this and drop it in. And then, actually, you know what? I thought the close-up of his eyes was going to be the third shot. Now I'm thinking we go extreme close-up to medium close-up to close-up. Then we reveal his eyes for the first time, which takes us to his face and then brings us into the rest of the story. Could this be the second shot? Fuck, no, that's too similar to this shot, and I really like this shot. But I think I make it even closer because I want there to be at least a 30% change in size between this shot and the next one. In this establishing shot, the extreme close-up, the line of action is going this way, shunk, shunk. In fact, the entire composition looks like this, right? So your eye just naturally follows this rhythm, coming down at this angle. With that in mind, I want my next shot to mirror that rhythm. it's going to be the exact opposite in an attempt to balance out the energy or just make it feel more interesting, right? So I'm going to look through. Now right here, boom. See how that does that? So that's why this is going to be the winner for shot 2. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So let's just clean this up a bit. So that works great. Chunk, chunk. Yeah, that's fucking really good actually. I'm pat myself in the back over here. Chunk, chunk. So now we've got 2 chisels hitting the wood. So the next one I would like to use something different. The sanding would be great like that, but you know, it could just be like right in here, because that's kind of coming right down the line, which is actually a really good idea. Yeah, let's do this. The direction is boom. Now the next direction is boom. So if I want 3 in a sequence, what am I going to do next? And the next one just coming right at you. That's 3 different directions, which feels satisfying to me. I'm thinking that if we grab this guy's hand holding the sanding block and delete the rest of the image, then we can redraw the background so that it's coming straight to camera. The only concern I have with that is that ultimately I'm going to be cutting into this shot here, and that's kind of the same shot. My other option is that I could be going away from camera. However, you see, in this preceding shot, we've got the camera behind the guy's hand. Now, if we cut to the sanding block going away from camera, we'd have to be behind the guy's hand again, and it just kind of feels a bit redundant. I'm kind of damned if I do and damned if I don't here. So let's do this. Let's figure out our 4th shot, the one we're going to land on, and then let's drop that into place and see how it all feels. Looking at this frame now, we can see that the composition, at the moment at least, looks like this. Big heavy subject matter slicing the frame diagonally with an equal amount of negative space on the other side, right? And I feel like the line of action goes this way, straight across the eyes. See, when you look at this image, this is the path your eye takes, right? It just comes right down in this angle. So, in order to balance this frame, I'd like to add some energy on the opposite side of the frame flowing this way. Make sense? With that in mind, I'm going to put his brother here and have him face this way. Okay, initially I thought I was going to have him polishing this wardrobe, but now I'm thinking I'm going to go with this chair instead. The chair works better because the energy is going to go like this now. See what I'm saying? All right, so the profile shot of the chair is starting to feel a bit boring, so let's erase this and go with a 3/4 angle instead. In fact, let's put the chair in front of him a bit so it doesn't feel, I don't know, so staged, you know? And we'll have him back here just polishing away. Okay, see, now? Oh, good God. Okay, now that I'm looking at this, I don't like it. And I'll tell you why. I might have overthought it. Because here's the deal. Now the composition goes like this. And it's not working, it's not right. So I was wrong about the eyes. So let's take it back to the start, and this time let's just focus on the composition rather than the line of action. I think I got screwed up with the line of action. So if the composition is going this way, in the foreground, in the background I wanted to mirror it by going this way. So let's just start sketching and see what we come up with. Yeah, I could put his hand right here, and this triangle would really focus on the hand. So that would really be cool if I could make that work. All right, let's look at the background here. What can we play with? And nothing. But he has to be way back here. And I like him facing this way, right? Because his brother's facing this way. So that's just going to be it. This is one of those situations where there's no obvious solution to the problem, so I'm just gonna start sketching and see if I can scribble my way through it. Yeah, honestly, I kind of painted myself into a corner here. There's no real immediate answer. So here's what I'm gonna do. Just draw the cabinet in the background. Like he's holding the cabinet here. I got a brick textured wall behind him. And honestly, this is all gonna be a bit soft focus anyway. Actually, you know what? This is starting to look pretty good. This is starting to work for me. I know it may seem like I'm just throwing in the towel here, and I don't know, maybe I am, but I think we can move on from this. So let's double back to the previous shot with the hand coming towards us. I'm thinking maybe I can go straight at camera here, as long as it's super low. Right, just coming right at us. So let's put this back. But because we're gonna go really low, we'll get rid of this. Because you know it's sandpaper, so it could actually be going away from camera, right? Like he's pushing it towards us and away from us, towards us and away from us. So we could be going backwards with it. I think that would be a good cut. But now, cutting from the third frame to the fourth frame, I mean, that just kind of feels like a pan up, no? Or maybe, you know what, a pan up might not be bad. So chunk, chunk, shunk, and then we pan up. Let's just see what other anything that can come towards us that isn't a chisel. No, I think that's good. Let's just stick with that. So, okay, I think that's our opening sequence, these 4 frames. Let's go ahead and fill out the rest of this page, and then I'll double back and tighten up these frames. The next shot is the girl's gonna enter from the door, which is essentially this. You know what? Let's go from close-up of him to close-up of her. But like, now if he's favoring looking this way, I'm gonna have her favor looking this way. So she's gonna come in. I'm not worried about a likeness right now. So she's gonna be coming ding dong in this stupid door. So she's coming in, hello. So this door is gonna open. Yink that way. So she should come in. What do we establish? She's going to be camera on that side. Great. Great. So she should come in, all wondered, like, whoa, like looking around, right? The Greek Teak is the name of the store, and we'll have that sign displayed proudly above the doorway. Okay, guys, you're gonna hate me for this, but honestly, I'm just not feeling this third shot. I was lying to myself when I said it felt good. I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this and head on back to the drawing board, otherwise known as Getty Images. Furniture maker. Handmade. Yeah, this might work. Let's go ahead and get a screen grab of this. And drop it into place. Shunk, shunk, shunk. Now he's still using a chisel each time, which kind of sucks, but I like that you don't see his face, right? Because it doesn't give away who we're looking at yet. Yeah, I think that's the winner. ECU, close up. So, in fact, let's just go ahead and accentuate this one. Make it really, so extreme close up. Close up. And I think that one, just to sort of sell, that's a difference. Extreme close-up, medium close-up, close-up. Cut into his eyes. She comes in. Ding, ding, she's walking this way. Boom, we got page 1. All right, just about time to start drawing these frames off. And as promised, I will keep this in real time. this video, creating a shot list is very rarely a mad dash to the finish line. Far more often, it's a simple process, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, fumbling around in the dark, until you eventually hit your target. But for me personally, it's the most fun part of this gig. I love trying to find interesting or unique ways of telling a story, even if it's just the opening few frames like we had here today. In the 30 years that I've been doing this job, I have never met a director who didn't appreciate me offering up a couple of new ideas. And it just so happens to be the one thing that AI cannot seem to do properly. If you can learn to master the art of visual storytelling, I'm telling you kids, you'll never be out of work. I look forward to expanding more on this topic in future videos. All right, I think that's just about going to be it for today's episode. If you have any questions about what we covered here today, or you just want to tell me how much you hate me, drop on down to the comment section below and hit me up, Buttercup. And as always, if you found this video insightful or entertaining and would like to see more of them in the future, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. Until next time, this is Vinny DeLay with Make and Grow Rich.